make you cry. And last night, Travis Snider was having a miserable night at the plate, but one swing of the bat erased all those bad memories.
You just never know when you're going to be called upon to help your team win a ball game. It was a brutal first part of the game for Travis Snider. He struck out 3 times. Here's the frustration. But you've still got to play this game with a lot of desire. And late in the game against Mario Rivera, he grounds out, but he gets a second chance in the 10th inning. Drives a ball into the gap in right center field. For the first time this season, the Blue Jays have won a game when trailing after 8 innings. Travis Snider was up for the challenge.
Well, he sure was. That RBI gives him 11 for the season. He leads the team in that department. He's throwing well from the outfield. He's stealing bases at a great rate. Travis Snider, even though his average is under 200, is doing what it takes. Heart and hustle. That's what Snider's all about right now. Jamie?
Good.
On Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
The second game of this short 2-game series, Alex Rodriguez will be back in the lineup. He has not played since Saturday. Left the ball game Saturday with an oblique and back strain. He is back in the lineup tonight. A little bit of a surprise that he's in the lineup given the fact they've got an off day tomorrow. But the extra inning loss probably had something to do with it. Motivation.
Left-hander on the mound in the loss yesterday, certainly.
Brett Cecil will go to the mound, and let's take a look at the Yankees lineup. It's Jeter, Swisher, Teixeira top the order. Alex Rodriguez back in his familiar cleanup spot. Robinson Cano with the 10-game hit streak. Andrew Jones is in left field tonight with the left-hander on the mound. Posada, Russell Martin, and Curtis Granderson round out the lineup.
It's a good hitting team, a lot of balance, and they have hit left-handers very well this year, the New York Yankees. That's a lineup that Brett Cecil will see. After a couple of rough starts for Cecil to begin the season, he gave up just 2 hits and limited Boston to just 3 runs over 6 innings, picked up his first victory of the season. That was last Friday. Jays won that game against the Red Sox 7-6. He improved to 12-2 in 16 starts versus the AL East over the last 2 seasons. And there are his numbers here. Got to limit the walks just a little bit more. He's getting a little bit better.
11 in a row retired at the end of that outing. Let's take a look at the defense behind Brett Cecil. A little change in the infield tonight, but in the outfield, it's the same. Snider, Patterson, and Bautista left to right. The change in the infield, Jason Nix played third last night. He is at second tonight. Aaron Hill is out of the lineup with a strained hamstring. John McDonald starts at third base. Escobar and Lind round out the infield. J.P. Aronsebi did not play in last night's game. He's behind the plate for Brett Cecil.
First start of the season at second base for Jason Nix. John McDonald is very capable at second base, but John Farrell wants to take a look at this combination here. Jason Nix signed as a second baseman, has played at second base, and they just want to be able to be flexible in the infield.
Just get an idea what you have. Nix has played an awful lot so far, but the majority of his work has been done at third base. We are set for action here at Rogers Center. Derek Jeter had a single in his first at bat last night, finished up 1 for 5. The captain will start things off. Blue Jays won a thriller last night, bottom of the 10th inning. Travis Snider's RBI double. Here's the first pitch. Jeter went too far. Yankees know all about Brett Cecil. Faced him 5 times last year. Started 5 games, won 4 of them. The team won all 5 of his starts against New York. Fly ball to the gap in right center. Bautista now backs up a couple of steps and makes the catch. Jeter's retired.
There are the numbers that you were just talking about. 5 starts, 4-0 versus New York. Just 2 home runs given up to the Yankees in the 33 2/3 inning. That's pretty impressive.
Well, the way the Yankees are playing this year, if you keep the ball in the ballpark, you got a real good chance of beating them. They've hit 29 home runs so far, averaging over 2 home runs a game. And the big thing about it is a big majority of their runs are scored on the long ball. Nick Swisher moves up to the 2 spot in the order. It's a high fastball off the glove. Swisher last night hit 5th, but he is hitting so well against left-handed pitchers, they have moved him into the 2 spot.
Well, his numbers are off the charts versus left-handed pitching this year.
Changeup missed up and away. It's 2-0.
In his career versus left-handed pitching, he hits 260, but not this year. Up over 500, 10 for 19 versus the lefties.
3-0. Swisher's always patient at the plate. He had 3 walks in last night's game. Officially 1 for 2. A 4-pitch walk with 1 out. Nick Swisher with that great eye continues a trend we've gotten used to since 2006. Only David Ortiz has walked more than Nick Swisher. The Yankees will make you throw strikes.
Fits in perfectly, I think, with his team. He's a switch hitter. He can play multiple positions, and he sees lots of pitches when he's at the plate.
Mark Teixeira Takes the first pitch strike. Teixeira had a homer last night, his 6th home run of the season. Made the batting average, and that's pretty traditional for Teixeira early in the season.
That's actually pretty good for Teixeira in the month of April. His last 2, he has hit under 200.
Popped up down the right field line, and that's out of play.
But if you put one in his sweet spot, he's got such great strength. He can hit the ball out of any part of the ballpark. This one about right center field. Got it into that first deck in right field. This is our first look at him from the right side in this series.
0-2. Another fly ball deep right center. Corey Patterson on the run. He won't get it. Bounces off the track up against the wall. Swisher's going to stop at third. He didn't give a very good read on that. Thought he'd have a chance to score.
Certainly, we've seen that a couple of times now in this series, and you can see Nick Swisher talking to Robbie Thompson, the third base coach, saying, I didn't see the ball very well. Ball drilled to right center field. As the runner at first base, you've got to get out and get past the bag. So if he catches it, you tag it and go back. If not, you should be able to score from second base. Let's watch Swisher here as he stops. Not real sure, and then sees that it's down and he can't score.
Yeah, he's got to score on that ball. He didn't read that very well at all, but it's second and third, 1 out for Alex Rodriguez. Back in the lineup. As we mentioned, he came out of the Yankee game on Saturday. Off to a great start. 385, 4 homers. Left-handers have given him a bit of a problem so far, hitting just 231 against the lefties.
Had a sensational spring training. Seemed like every time you look in the box scores, Alex Rodriguez was getting a hit or a home run, and he's carried that into the season. 9 of his 15 hits have been for extra bases.
Yankees with a chance to get on the board early. Second and third, 1 out. Pretty good pitch, just missed the inside corner. The Yankees, so often we've talked about their power. They've not hit much for an average, but once again, the walk has been part of their offense, and Swisher got it going with the 1-out walk. Straightens him up with an inside fastball.
They have power up and down the lineup. Walks are important, but 6 different players have hit at least 4 home runs for the Yankees. It's a lot like the attack that we saw from the Blue Jays last year. Power up and down the lineup, take the walk when you have to.
Robinson Cano on deck. Not too many soft spots in this lineup. 3-1 pitch to Alex Rodriguez. He takes the walks. The bases are loaded.
While we have a moment, let's take a look at the scouting report for Brett Cecil, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners drive home. I think he needs to really get that momentum and drive towards the plate. He gets in trouble when he spins out of his delivery. Stay over that rubber and really command down. There's been an uptick in his velocity. That's something that we've been talking about his first 3 starts of the season. A little bit better his last time out in Boston, and he's had that Yankee success that you were talking about, undefeated against New York last year.
Bases are loaded, 1 out. Robinson Cano, the batter, 1 for 5 in last night's game. Cano batting under 200 against the lefties. He's also grounded into 2 double plays against left-handed pitchers. Cecil would love to see a ball on the ground right here. And it's popped up out of play. The Yankees never really seem to give you too many easy innings. They've always got base runners on. They're always a threat to score.
They have a feel, too, when they get into that batter's box when you are not on. 4 grand slams for Robinson Cano, his career.
On the ground, Lynn will come after it. They'll play at second. He'll take the out at first. Cano will be retired, but he gets an RBI as Swisher comes in to score the first run of the ball game.
Early in the game, you're just counting outs. Get outs. You don't want to try and be a hero and throw the ball all over the place. And Lynn does the right thing. He was thinking about maybe going to second base to get the runner in the middle of the diamond right there, but then realizes, hey, we got to get an out here. The run crosses the plate. Yankees jump on top early.
Big bouncing ball, and that was the heads-up play. Just take the out. Andrew Jones starts in left field tonight. That fastball missed the inside corner. Brett Cecil had trouble in Boston. The 2 hits were both home runs. They came in the 3rd inning. Trying to minimize the damage here in the 1st. Change up. Jones got a piece of it.
That's going to be a huge pitch, I think, for Brett Cecil. It'll make his fastball have a little bit more juice to it when it's going to the plate. And the Yankees are very good fastball hitters. You got to use that changeup to keep them off stride.
Ball and a strike for the veteran Andrew Jones. Fouled out of play. There's your point right there. He was late on the fastball after going after the Cecil changeup.
Just 90 miles an hour, but it looks like it's about 94, 95 if you followed up with a good change.
Yankees have taken a lead here in the 1st. An RBI ground out off the bat of Robinson Cano. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs. Got it. Good changeup gets Andrew Jones, and Cecil does minimize the impact of 2 first-inning walks. The Yankees score first. Good changeup gets Andrew Jones. First, Escobar, Patterson, Bautista, top 3rd in the order. Adam Lind and Edwin Encarnacion. Boy, he's swinging a hot bat since he's taken over every day as the DH. JP Arancibia moves up into the 6th spot. Travis Snider, discount the 153 average. He's gotten some key hits in tonight. This would be a good matchup for Snider, in my estimation, as they face Bartolo Colon.
Mine too. First start for Bartolo Colon since he was a member of the Chicago White Sox way back on July the 24th, 2009. Colon takes over for the spot left by Phil Hughes since he's been put on the disabled list on Friday. And he's had some success.
Yunel Escobar looks at a first pitch ball, and there's a strike. 1-1. Escobar got a big double in the 9th inning off Mariano Rivera to start that comeback rally and allow the Blue Jays to tie it. Boy, Escobar has been given nothing but pitches away throughout these first 2 games here. Just trying to get him to chase anything on the outer part of the plate.
But when he misses the pitcher, it's hit hard. Just like that. Colon gives up his first hit of the ball game to the first batter he faces, Escobar. Let's take a look at the defense for the Yankees. They're in the middle of the pack in the American League in fielding percentage. They've committed 10 errors. Andrew Jones and his 10 gold gloves will start in left field along with Curtis Granderson and Nick Swisher. A-Rod back in the lineup after being off in last night's game. And Russell Martin, who did a whale of a job last night blocking a lot of balls in the dirt, will form the battery with Bartolo Colon. There's A-Rod.
Colon's never been real good at shutting down the running game. Very deliberate, and he's always had the ability to rack up strikeouts, so it's never been a big part of his game. But the Blue Jays have been in every pitcher's head so far this year.
We have seen it in Boston. We have seen it against Oakland. Saw a little bit last night against Mariano Rivera.
Made Mariano Rivera change his tempo a bit. Patterson bunts it. That'll get down in front of Teixeira. Bang, bang, and first. Boy, Cano just got there in time. Patterson can fly. And Teixeira very deliberate in his toss to Cano covering first.
Robinson Cano has some of the quickest feet and quickest hands I've ever seen on the field in baseball. He has got to go a long way from his position at second base, and he's got to get there before Patterson does. He's got to catch the ball. Watch how quickly he catches it, finds the bag, and gets it out of the way so Patterson doesn't step on him. It's a heck of a play.
Good play by Cano. Patterson can really run. Cano got there and beat Patterson to the bag. One out. Jose Bautista homered in his first at bat last night. Escobar at second. Running fastball. Fourth home run for Bautista came with 2 outs in the first off A.J. Burnett. Fastball. Colon was the Cy Young Award winner in 2005. He had an overpowering fastball. He would just rear back and light up the radar gun, 96, 97 miles an hour. Doesn't have that velocity now.
The thing that made him special when he was younger is he could maintain that 97, 98 mile an hour fastball throughout the game. He'd be throwing harder later in the game than he was at the beginning of it.
You can see he's a big man, very strong in lower half, and has durability and stamina. 2-2 to Bautista. On the ground. Rodriguez. 2 outs.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report for the veteran Bartolo Colon for the New York Yankees. We talked about the 97, 98 miles an hour that he used to have. He's a different pitcher now. Now it's sinkers, move the fastball around the strike zone. He's got a plus curveball. In fact, Mariano Rivera taught him his cut fastball back in the 90s when they were playing against each other. Get outs early. That's what he needs. Induce batters to pull the ball, put the ball in play. Work very quickly. Don't show him a whole lot.
Adam Lynn had a hit off Rivera in that comeback 9th inning. Adam had a single in the first and a single in the 9th. For the 9th, he was 2 for 5. Outside. Not many Blue Jays have an awful lot of at-bats against Colon. Corey Patterson's the only one that's had double-digit at-bats. They just haven't seen him much. And, of course, Colon didn't pitch at all last year.
19 career starts versus the Blue Jays. A good ERA, about 3.6, and he's won 8 games. But you're right, only Patterson with 11 at-bats have seen Colon.
Still got some movement on that fastball, but it's not quite as hard as it once was. The problem with that kind of movement, it's along the plane of the bat. It stays kind of running away from left-handed batters. It should play right into Adam Lynn's hand. He stays on that ball, he can drive it to the opposite field.
He walked them. Didn't want any part of them.
You can see Bartolo Colon was a dominant pitcher early on over the last 10 seasons, but then after 2005, it has been a battle. Injuries and arm problems.
The early 2000s with the Indians. He was the ace, the #1 guy for the Cleveland Indians. And he's bounced around.
Edwin Encarnacion moves up in the order. He's the DH. Been swinging a hot bat. His average up to 286. Edwin had 3 hits in last night's game. Blue Jays down by a run. John Farrell really likes Encarnacion in the DH spot. Thinks he's about ready to really show some power. Missed a few pitches on the last road trip. Had 3 hits in last night's game.
3 bullets also.
Driven to left field. Andrew Jones right there on the track makes the catch. A Gold Glover 10 times over former center fielder runs it down on the warning track. Blue Jays trail after 1.
Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Back at Rogers Center, Brent Cecil got out of the first with minimal damage. 1 run came in on a ground ball off the bat of Cano. But the Blue Jays starters have really set a bad trend last time through the rotation. As a unit, the 5 starters have averaged 25.6 pitches in the first inning. And because of that, they haven't been able to pitch late into the game. And John Farrell is very concerned about depth and length from the starters.
It's one of the things that he was telling us about the starters, that he needs them to go a little bit longer. That's why they are carrying 9 relievers right now. One of the ways you can do that, throw more strikes. Throw more quality pitches. Have shorter innings. A good pitches per inning ratio is about 14 or 15.
14 will be among the leaders. If you can stay under 17, 18, you're in good shape. That'll allow you to pitch deep into the game. But the last time through the rotation, Drabek went 5 1/3. Romero went 4 1/3. Litch went 6, and he's been sent back to the minors, and Reyes went 3 plus 2 batters. You can't win games when your starters are leaving so early.
He wants to get back where he has 7 relievers. So he has a few more bench players in case they need to make some moves, or if they go into extra innings, somebody gets hurt. Right now they just have 3 bench players, and one of them is Aaron Hill.
Posada goes too far. He strikes out. And Sabia blocked the ball. First out of the 2nd.
There's that good changeup, a pitch that's going to be so important for Cecil tonight against the Yankees. If they can lay off of it, they'll be okay. He's got to get them to chase it, though.
Well, the Yankees are well aware of the success Cecil had against them last year. They saw him a lot, and he was very tough on them. Here's one guy that didn't see him. Russell Martin wasn't with the Yankees last year. He's off to a great start. Hitting over 290. Goes after the first pitch and gets fooled by the changeup. Martin put on a clinic last night defensively behind the plate. Time and time again, A.J. Burnett would bury that hard breaking ball, and Russell Martin did a good job of blocking the balls. Hammer down the left field line. That'll get down all the way up against the wall. Snider plays it very well. Gets it back to the infield and keeps Russell Martin to a long single. They mentioned how well Snider has played in the outfield, and he got to that ball in a hurry.
He is tied with Jose Bautista for most assists on the team with 3 already. He had 3 all of last year. This is a changeup. This time it's up. First pitch was down. This one was up, and you can see what a good team, a good hitter will do with that. Rips it to left field, but Snider gets over there very quickly and then accurately throws the ball back into the infield.
Curtis Granderson in the number 9 spot here tonight. Last night against Kyle Drabek, Yankee center fielder, hit second. Granderson had a single and a homer, scored 2 and drove in 1. Base hit down the right field line. Martin around second. He's headed for third. Bautista plays it off the wall. Martin's getting the wave home. Nix with the relay throw. It'll go to third as Martin scores all the way from first on the Granderson triple. Curtis Granderson is a different player since he's joined the Yankees, hitting against left-handed pitchers.
That used to be one of his shortcomings as a hitter. He'd overcommit too much. He had all kind of holes in his swing, but now he is very compact. He's very balanced. This ball gave Jose Bautista a little trouble in the corner. Goes down to pick it up with his glove. Comes out a little bit. That allows Granderson to get all the way to third base. Granderson is hot too. First triple of the season for the center fielder for the Yankees.
Back to the top of the order. Derek Jeter takes a fastball strike. Curtis Granderson has driven in 8 this season. 5 of his RBIs have come against left-handed pitching.
When he was with Detroit, he had all kind of trouble against the lefties, but he is a different player in the last year or so.
Jeter bounces it up the middle. That'll bring home Granderson. Escobar throws out Jeter, but Granderson comes in to score. It is 3-0 New York.
Blue Jays play the infield back. It's early. If they're playing in, that's a base hit. They're playing back. Adam Lind with a good stretch over at first base to haul in that throw from Escobar.
Nick Swisher hasn't done much damage with the bat. He's done all the damage with the base on balls. He walked last night in his first at bat and scored. He's done the same here tonight. As part of his game, he's patient, he's selective, he gets on base, and he scores runs.
Great on base percentage, almost 370 for Swisher. He too is a different type of hitter, I think, since he has come over to the Yankees. Remember when he was with Oakland and when he was with the White Sox, he had that high leg kick. He'd have some wild swings. Now he seems to be under a little bit more control.
Pops this one up in the infield. John McDonald, the second baseman, makes the play. Swisher's retired, and the Blue Jays get out of the second, but the Yankees add 2 more. We've played an inning and a half. New York leads 3-0. Blue Jays starters as they have struggled to command the strike zone, and it's becoming a frustrating situation. And we talked about how they have struggled early on to get into a flow of things. But Cecil had trouble last time out in the third inning, but then finished up with a real strong run. Retired the last 11 Red Sox batter he's faced. The catcher, J.P. Arancibia, takes a strike from Colon. Yankees lead 3-0. Breaking ball hammered to left field. Jones will sit and watch this one fly away. Home run, J.P. Arancibia. Number 3 on the season.
RBI number 7 for Arancibia. And that's good timing right there. Good hitters, when they see breaking ball, they have that ability to stay back on that back leg and don't commit. Watch how he stays back, reads it, and goes down and gets it. Deep to left field. Stay back and hammer it. That's a home run swing right there from Arancibia.
Travis Snider takes a strike. Arancibia, his 3rd home run of the season. And the Blue Jays are on the board. Change-up, and that bat goes flying into the seats.
What a catch by the fan. He's got to give it back, though. That's Travis Snider's gamer right there.
Off-balance swing, loses the grip on the bat, and that's a nice job making sure nobody gets hurt. And he got a nice souvenir. Everybody's smiling. 0-2 to Travis Snider. Arancibia with the long home run to left. Snider was a hero in last night's game as RBI doubled in the bottom of the 10th gave the Blue Jays a walk-off win. Up to that point, it had been total frustration for Snider.
3 strikeouts, a couple of ground outs. A.J. Burnett had his curveball working against Snider in last night's game.
It's a changeup from Colon. That's something we didn't see a lot of before. When he was in his prime, he would power a fastball by you and have an awful lot of late movement.
Yeah, dead red, too, with that fastball and a good curveball and slider. Good matchup for Snider, who is a very good low ball fastball hitter.
Ran back over the inside part of the plate. Snider's caught looking at a Colon fastball. First strikeout of the night for Bartolo Colon.
Watch the movement. Locks up the left-hander. Can't give up on it, as he will just keep throwing it there. He's an interesting guy. He came to camp as a non-roster player for the Yankees and made the team in the bullpen with a great spring.
1 out. Jason Nix, the second baseman. Nix getting a start at second base tonight. Aaron Hill left the game last night with a strained hamstring. He was taken out after stealing second base in the 6th. A ball and a strike. Colon, this is his 4th appearance of the season. He made 3 relief appearances, all in Phil Hughes' starts. Well, he is pitching to both sides of the plate very effectively with that fastball.
That's one thing that I have noticed about him, is you see John McDonald, the on-deck hitter. Watched him a couple of times in spring training. And his fastball was down, and he was able to throw it to the outside or the inside part of the plate.
Nix goes out to get that fastball. Colon's season didn't get off to such a dazzling start. First batter he faced in relief, Ramon Santiago, singled. The next batter, Brennan Bosch, hit a 2-run homer. But since then, he's been pretty good. One ball, 2 strikes.
He threw 69 pitches in that game against the Tigers. He then threw 62 this next time out, and then 54. So he's going to be okay to throw 90 pitches tonight. He says he can throw 90 to 95. Joe Girardi has other ideas.
Yeah, Girardi's going to be more conservative, and will be thankful if he can get 80 out of Cologne and maybe into the 6th inning. There's that breaking ball. Took something off and had Nix out in front.
Third baseman, number 6, John McDonald.
John McDonald came into the game in the 6th inning and had a lot to do with that win. His safety squeeze bunt base hit drove in Bautista from third to tie the game off Mariano Rivera at 5-all. Swings at the first pitch and pops it to center field. Anderson's there. McDonald's retired, but the Blue Jays get on the board. J.P. Arencibia, the catcher, with a lot of power, connects on a Bartolo Colon curveball. His 3rd of the season. Yankees lead 3-1. Gotten a run back. A home run from his battery mate, J.P. Arencibia, has made it a 3-1 ball game. Mark Teixeira hit an opposite field double to the base of the wall in right center his first time up. First pitch changeup finds the outside corner. Every time the Blue Jays have been able to throw Teixeira a lot of soft stuff, they've really had success with it. Tried to get him to chase that pitch, and he laid off. He's a very good fastball hitter. He has kind of an unusual swing from both sides of the plate. Kind of a back leg swing. Kind of an uppercut home run power swing. And sometimes he can become vulnerable to the off-speed pitches. There's a strike on the inside corner. Last year, Cecil was in a jam July 2nd. Bases loaded, nobody out, down a run early, but he really came up big.
Early in that game, he had been throwing a lot of pitches and then decided, okay, I'm going to reach back and just give him what I have. And he got A-Rod, he got Cano, and then he got Posada to ground out. And I remember talking to him the next day about that, and I said, what would happen there? He said, you know, I got tired of messing around. I'm going to just challenge him with fastballs, and when you can do that, it's pretty impressive stuff.
At that point of the ball game, he'd already issued 4 walks. That was the only game in which he didn't pick up a decision. The Blue Jays would tie it later on in the game, and they would win it in extras. Another off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. Just missed the inside corner. You see, all of these Yankees have become very quiet at the plate. Alex Rodriguez had a lot more movement with his bat and his hands last several years. He's rested that bat right on his shoulder, trying to minimize the movement, and that's at the suggestion of Kevin Long.
Kevin Long spread out just a little bit more. Remember when A-Rod came to the Yankees, he had a very high leg kick also. What it does, it helps you to track the ball just a little bit better. Stay quiet and use your hands just a little bit more. We see it with Granderson, we've seen it with Swisher, and we've also seen it with Rodriguez.
3 balls and a strike, 1 out. Pulled foul. Alex Rodriguez, J.P. Arancibia went to the same high school in Florida, Westminster Christian. Arancibia broke all A-Rod's power number records. But they were both at the same high school and came out a pretty good baseball program. 3-2, 1 out. Breaking ball in the dirt, another walk. That's 3 walks already in this ball game, and there's something that has created problems for this pitching staff. And it makes the manager pace in the dugout. Robinson Cano picked up an RBI his first time up, grounded out to the first baseman. There goes Rodriguez. Pitches up and in. Throw to second base. A good one. He got it. And Arancibia threw a strike. It looked like the tag was on Rodriguez's legs, like he might have been safe.
Went on first movement trying to catch Cecil and the Blue Jays by surprise, but Arancibia was very quick. It was high. The Blue Jays might have gotten away with that one. But you can see A-Rod leaving on the first movement from Brett Cecil. Thinks he's in there, but he's punched out by Jim Joyce, the second base umpire.
Escobar does a good job of getting the glove down quickly, but you're right. Looks like the Blue Jays might have gotten away with one. Joe Girardi came out and had a little discussion with Jim Joyce. Arancibia made a good throw. Rodriguez got a running start at first. He went on Brett Cecil's first movement. Veteran Jim Joyce at second had a short conversation with Joe Girardi. 2 outs. A ball and a strike to Robinson Cano.
He's getting his changeup over now. Now he can use his fastball a little bit more. The Yankees will be making that adjustment, sitting over there watching what Cecil's doing. And if he's throwing that changeup over for strikes, we'll have to mix in something hard at certain times.
Ball is bounced first and foul. Well, the one thing the Yankees will do, like the Red Sox, they'll pick up on patterns. If you fall into a pattern of throwing the same pitch in the same count, they'll be all over it. Andrew Jones is on deck. He struck out his first time up. Robinson Cano in a hole. A ball and 2 strikes. Fastball lined into center field. Snider getting over, trying to cut it off. Robinson Cano will stop it first with a long single.
That looked like it was a fastball, but it was up, but not high enough. J.P. Arancibia wants it up where his glove is, and it's about letter high. If he was going to do that as a setup pitch, it's got to be up a little bit higher, up above the numbers and the letters in his jersey. Too good of a hitter.
That will extend the hitting streak for Robinson Cano to 11 games. Jones struck out.
Andrew Jones has turned into a pretty decent extra outfielder. When he was with the Atlanta Braves, he was a superstar. Had a season with 51 home runs, You mentioned all the Gold Gloves. Last year, 278 at-bats with the White Sox and still hit 19 home runs.
Pops this one up over near the Yankee dugout here in Seaview. We'll watch it go back into the seats. Very difficult for star players like Andrew Jones to make the transition and resign themselves to the fact that they're an extra player, but he's done it very effectively.
He was saying in the offseason, I would have hit 40 home runs if I would have played more. He had under 300 at-bats last year. And hit those 19 home runs, 48 driven in. That's production from your fourth outfielder.
Now this is when he's dangerous, when he has the count in his favor. He can cheat to the inner half of the plate. Two balls and a strike. Cano at first. Tossed him up. That's when the changeup is most effective in fastball counts.
When you've got a guy who is sitting on a fastball. Never met a fastball he doesn't like. You can really pull the string on him.
Pops this one up. Jason Nix, the second baseman, out into shallow right. Jones is retired, and the Yankees are done in the third. Good throw from J.P. Arencibia. Nails Alex Rodriguez at second. Check out the Game Zone on sportsnet.ca for live stats and live chats with Shy Davidi and Mike Willner. Viewers are encouraged to participate. Just go to jameslive.sportsnet.ca and join in the fun during the ball game. You can always find out the matchups, see how people are doing against Bartolo Colon, and stay connected with this ball game. Top of the order for the Blue Jays. Junel Escobar cuts on the first pitch. It's a one-hopper to Rodriguez at third. One pitch, one out. Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup tonight. He did not start in last night's game. Yankees had the off day on Monday here in Toronto. They'll have an off day tomorrow in Baltimore before they open up a three-game series against the Orioles. Corey Patterson had a sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Fouls it off the glove of Russell Martin. Rajai Davis is close to going out on a rehab assignment. He will probably go to Double-A on Friday and start the rehab process.
He is eligible, I believe, on Tuesday to come off the disabled list. He looked good today.
Yeah, he did everything on the field. He was doing a lot of running and obstacle course running, change of direction, trying to test that sprained ankle. Everything looked fine. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Look out. Corey Patterson was hit in the back of the head in spring training. This time he bails out. That's how you get out of the way of a pitch. Turn your back to the baseball. If it does hit you, it's going to hit you in the back, and that's what saved him when he got hit by Daniel Barnes.
Yeah, right in the head. You turn that face away from the ball.
Changeup. Patterson swings and misses. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell for an update. Former Blue Jay David Percy, part of a 5 left-handed pitcher bullpen for Oakland. The Red Sox have snapped a 7-game road losing streak to open the season. That was their first win on the road. It's a franchise record. 0-2 to Bautista. Colon looks sharp.
Pitch off the fastball. Fastball command. We've said it a lot the last couple of days. If you're able to do that, it opens up so much more. Very savvy now that he's been around a long time also.
And trying to hit the outside corner. Yeah, he just used to muscle his way through lineups, just pour that fastball anywhere. It didn't make a difference.
Pure stuff. I mean, just pure stuff. Right now, you can see he humped up those last 2, trying to throw it a little bit harder. And then takes a little something off.
When Bautista went around, he didn't think so, but Jim Wolf called him for the swing, and Colon strikes out 2 in the inning. After the Aaron Sebia home run, Bartolo Colon has retired 6 straight. #1 baseball camp in Canada. It's Honda Super Camps presented by Baseball Canada. One will take place in London, Ontario, July 11th, 12th, and 13th at Centerfield Sports. The instructors will include Roberto Alomar, future Hall of Famer. He's going to the Hall of Fame in July. Brian McRae, Dwayne Ward, Adam Stern, great Canadian player. He will be part of the instruction staff. BlueJays.com/camps for more information. The Blue Jays are proud sponsors of amateur baseball across Canada. The DH, Jorge Posada, late on a fastball. Posada struck out to start the second inning. Hitting just 167, but look at the power. 5 homers and 9 RBI.
Being a DH takes some getting used to. Posada has talked to some of the better DHs in the American League, asking them what they do to get ready.
That broke his bat. Nix will go back behind second to make a pitch.
He's talked to David Ortiz from the Red Sox, asking him some of the hints and things that he does to stay ready.
Got to be difficult for a player like Posada, who's been a position player, catcher his entire career. Now the responsibilities behind the plate go to Russell Martin.
You're involved in every pitch on defense. And now you swing, you hit a broken back, humpback liner, you got to sit around and let the lineup go around.
8 more outs before you get another chance. All you do is sit and stew about getting that jam shot off your thumbs. As a catcher, you never have time to think about bad at bats. Martin had a long single to left, did a changeup off Brett Sacer, the base of the wall and left, but Travis Snider played it very well and kept Martin to a long single. Two balls and a strike. Russell Martin, in his first year with the Yankees, signed a 1-year contract in the offseason. Pushed him back with a fastball. I think Russell Martin's happy to be away from the Dodgers.
Oh, what they announced this afternoon.
The commissioner has taken away the everyday responsibilities from the Dodger owner, Frank McCourt. Baseball will run the Dodgers for the time being until they can find a suitable buyer. Messy situation.
You want to go in halves?
Maybe thirds. Russell Martin will take the 1-out walk. One down here in the fourth. Yankees lead 3-1.
Been a problem for Brett so far the early parts of this season, the base on balls. He just doesn't have that feel yet, or that drive down in the strike zone. Everything so far has been up.
Curtis Granderson had a triple down into the right field corner that scored Martin all the way from first. First pitch strike. Four walks already issued to the Yankees. There's too many extra base runners, and even though they're not hitting much for an average, they will take advantage of the free passes. One of those 4 has come in to score. 0-2.
They get a lot of base runners, but they seem to bring them around. Coming into this game, the Yankees have left the fewest runners on base. I guess that's because they hit a lot of home runs and clear the bases.
Cut on and missed. Big strikeout for Brett Sacer. He retires the number 9 hitter with a good breaking ball.
In a good spot, too. Granderson came into this game 8 for his last 17. He tripled, and now Cecil strikes him out with a good breaking ball down and away from him.
Two down for Derek Jeter. Jeter's ground ball to the shortstop in the second drove in Curtis Granderson. Martin can run. A couple of steals already.
He had a season with the Dodgers when he had 21 stolen bases. Which is a very impressive number for the position he plays.
Jeter fooled on a changeup. Russell Martin looks like he did when he was an All-Star. Two-time All-Star with the Dodgers. He's in great shape. Coming back from a hip fracture and knee surgery, but he's in good shape. He told us yesterday he'd lost his drive, he'd lost his focus, he'd lost his joy of playing baseball. And that was even before last year, and he dealt with the injuries.
As a player, you start doubting yourself, doubting your abilities. You don't stay around the game very much, and he had doubts about his career continuing. But he says he's finally healthy, and he does look like the player he did a few years ago.
Jeter takes a strike, a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Jeter has worn out the Blue Jays over his career. A .323 career average. Snap throw in the dirt. Then keeps it in front of him. JP Arancibia threw out Alex Rodriguez in the 3rd inning. Blue Jays have always been very good at minimizing the impact of the running game, keeping runners close. All the starters vary their times to the plate. Another throw. Faces Martin back.
He thinks he's going to go. 2 strikes on the leadoff batter. If he gets thrown out, Jeter gets a clean slate next inning. Told you that he could run a little bit.
Big lead. There he goes. Grounded to short. Escobar rights himself, throws across the diamond to get Jeter. The Yankees are done in the 4th. Another walk, but Brett Sosa pitches around it. When we come back, it'll be Lyndon Encarnacion and Arancibia who's homered. Very young in his life and became quite a baseball player at a young age. The Dodgers drafted him as a 2nd baseman. He moved to 3rd for his first year of professional ball. Then they decided to make him a catcher. They put him in a batting cage and he caught Jumbo Diaz. He told me he threw 100 miles an hour and he had no problem with that. But the 2nd guy he caught the next day, he threw him a fastball and waved his glove like that, and then he threw him one of these. Russell said, I don't know what that means.
But he didn't say anything.
No, pitcher just went, I'm going to throw you one of those, then gave the sign for a sinker. Russell didn't lay a glove on it, hit him right in the protective cup, and he decided he didn't want to be a catcher anymore. But he got through that, and he worked his way through the minors. He had some great instructors throughout the Dodgers system that helped him with that transition. Adam Lynn pops it over near the seats and back out of play.
Steve Yeager was a big influence on him.
Steve Yeager was his Double-A manager, and Yeager was a great major league catcher with the Dodgers for a long time. But Russell came up and won the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger Award in the same year, 2007. Two-time All-Star. That's quite an accomplishment. He thinks that he is back to that form this year. Sharply hit on the ground. Robinson Cano, the Gold Glover, makes the play.
Save during the lawn and garden sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
You know, winning a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger has only happened 3 times in Major League history.
For a catcher.
For a catcher in the same season. Gold Glove, Silver Slugger in the same season for a catcher. Martin was one. Benito Santiago was the other. And the great Gary Carter did it.
Well, it's quite a combination to be able to be the best at your position defensively and also the best with the bat, especially after you play a long season behind the plate.
Yankees have another one of those at second base. Robinson Cano won the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger as a second baseman last year.
Now that's the epitome of being an all-around player, obviously. Edwin Encarnacion, and there's that Gold Glove behind second and the strong arm. Right on cue, Pep.
Well, we knew he was going to hit it to him. He's got great range, and that allows Mark Teixeira to play off the line. You can see where he's playing against Encarnacion. He's got great range, and he's got a great arm. It's a weapon when you can throw like a second baseman like that.
It really enables you to play deeper and give you more lateral range. Certainly he can go back behind the bag at second and get a lot on the throw. J.P. Seaby hit a curveball off Colon his last time up. Over the wall in left center, his 3rd home run. The Colon fastball isn't nearly as firm as it used to be, but boy, it's still got some life on it.
He has an idea of what he's trying to do out there. The at-bat that comes to mind was just last inning against Bautista. Pumped up with a couple of fastballs, 93, 94 miles an hour, and then pulled the string to get the strikeout to end the 3rd inning.
Bartolo Colon pitched in the Dominican Winter League, and his manager was Tony Pena. And Pena recommended the Yankees sign Colon. He pitched so well for him in winter ball. And so far, so good with the recommendation. 2-2. Strike 3 called. A fastball at 93 miles an hour on the outer half. Bartolo Colon has struck out 5, retired 9 in a row. Now it's time for a connected update with James. Done this season. At the beginning of the series opener, they have a 5-1 record. but then they haven't been able to build upon that momentum. You can see for the rest of the games in the series, they have a 3-8 record. They've fallen off dramatically. They need to pick up the pace a little bit and take advantage of that opening win.
Get the good starting pitching, go a little bit deeper into the game, and you'll start seeing more W's. John Farrell has certainly talked about that.
Still a 3-1 ball game. Nick Swisher. He has shown an awful lot of patience, very selective hitter.
He's had one season of 100 walks.
John McDonald dives, gets himself up, but throws wide of the mark at first base. Made another good grab, diving to his left, but couldn't throw it across the diamond. Swisher has an infield hit.
Third base is a reaction position, and McDonald still has great reactions and range. He gets to the ball and gets up quickly. His throw is a little off target. This would have been one of those John McDonald circus plays if he could have got Swisher over at first base.
Yankees have had a base runner on in every inning. They keep the pressure on. And they become more dangerous each time you fall behind. Two balls and no strikes. Well, you know, Aaron Sevilla will go to the mound.
We've been talking about Mark Teixeira and getting off to a good start. One of the things that he was talking about this spring, that in spring training really used to concentrate on conditioning and weight training and things like that to get in shape for the baseball season, and his baseball stuff would go to the wayside. His work in the cage and everything like that. This year he tried a little bit different. A little bit more baseball-wise stuff, hitting, fielding, staying away from the weights and the conditioning, and it's really helped him out.
Well, and it's one thing that the older generation players would do. They'd come to spring training and just play. There were no weight rooms, and there wasn't a lot of conditioning involved. You just played yourself into condition, and you did that by getting 4 and 5 at bats every day. On the ground, but foul.
He set up a pitching machine in the wintertime and set up at 60 feet 6 inches and cranked it up to 95 miles an hour. And that's how he got himself into a good timing before he went to spring training. Says hopefully that'll allow me to get off to a better April.
Kevin Long will fly all over the country and meet with his hitters in different situations, trying to get them prepared for spring training. I mean, this is a 24/7, 12 months a year deal. Fouled off Teixeira's foot.
But you're right, there's so much more to it now for players. They can go with the weight trainer and do weights 3 or 4 days a week. They can do conditioning drills, and you've seen all the things that they can do with the medicine ball and the running.
Well, there are institutes where guys will go and just train, and he's baseball specific. As you look at Teixeira, he's got that shin guard on his left leg, but that looked like it hitting the top of his foot. Does that a lot. That's why he's got that shin guard on. Full count. Not running. On the ground, McDonald has it go off his glove. That'll go up against the wall. Swisher is around, headed for third. Snider gets it in, and Swisher stops there. Teixeira has his second double of the ball game.
Yeah, it looked like another changeup from Cecil. He had Mark Teixeira out in front. Off-speed pitch, he's out in front, and he hooks it down the left field line. McDonald almost comes up with another great play. 2 bounces, and it goes right off of his glove. Snider runs it down, and the Yankees are in business again. Second and third, nobody out.
They have kept the pressure on all night long. Bruce Walton out with a short message to Brett Cecil. Interesting to see how they play the infield in this situation. Blue Jays trail by 2 here in the 5th. The cleanup hitter, Alex Rodriguez, has walked twice. Lind at first is even with the bag. Middle infielders are back. Fly ball, deep center field. Both runners tagging up. Swisher at third, tags. He's coming home. Teixeira goes from second to third. Alex Rodriguez picks up the sacrifice fly. It's 4-1 New York.
They keep the pressure on. Joe Girardi says we've been hitting a lot of home runs and scoring a lot of runs that way, but we can do other things too. This is good situational hitting here from Alex Rodriguez. You see him telling Mark Teixeira that ball is not going out. Tag up and move up. He gets him over and he gets him in.
So now the infield will come in with Robinson Cano batting and Mark Teixeira at third. 1 out. A run in. Fly ball deep left field. Teixeira will tag. Snider catches it. Here's the throw toward the plate. Nowhere nearly in time as Teixeira slides in. Another sacrifice fly. Cano delivers his 11th, 12th RBI of the season, and it's a 5-1 game. Casey Jansen has started to throw in the Blue Jays pen. Andrew Jones goes after a first pitch fastball. 0 for 2 for Jones so far. Pushed him back with a breaking ball. Ball on the strike. 2 outs here in the 5th.
Jones, I think, is going to like playing for the Yankees and working with Kevin Long, the hitting coach for New York. You can see how quiet he is at the plate. Kevin Long says that Jones reminds him a bit of Nick Swisher, who raised his average 30 points the first year he was able to work with a hitting instructor.
And Swisher was very reluctant to change. He pulls back from an inside fastball. They get a veteran player and they've had success, even though they might have had a couple of down years. They're reluctant to make dramatic changes, saying, hey, this has always worked for me. It'll work again. But as you age and your reactions slow down, adjustments are necessary. Popped up behind home plate. Aaron Sebia with the mask off. Jones is retired for a 3rd time. But the Yankees add 2 more. Rodriguez sac fly, Cano sac fly. It's 5-1 New York. In the National League Central, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Chicago, and St. Louis are all with a half game, and the Pirates are just a game back. Top to bottom, it's tight. Bartolo Colon has cooled off the Blue Jays. After the Aaron Sebia home run, Colon has retired 9 straight.
5 of them with strikeouts. Not overpowering. He's out there pitching. Much different pitcher that we saw a few years ago. Really has an idea out there. I'm very impressed.
There's a strike. It's 0-2. Colon's a big guy, obviously. Just barely 6 foot tall. But he probably weighs 260, but he's a good athlete. He's got a good delivery. He always has had a good delivery.
Very
Stays
clean.
balanced.
Arm problems forced to miss all of last season. And you mentioned the winter ball that he went out there. Yankees signed him. Make good $900,000 contract. And even the Yankees said we don't know what to expect from him in spring training.
Fought off and foul. Colon is the 3rd winningest pitcher among Dominican-born pitchers. Juan Marichal, the Hall of Famer, the all-time wins leader at 243. Then Pedro Martinez with 219 wins. Colon is 3rd, 153 W's. Breaking ball. Snider laid off. That was the ball that gave Snider so much trouble last night from A.J. Burnett. That breaking ball, it starts out in the zone on the inner half and then breaks down into the dirt.
He's got a good one. Throws it right out of the same arm plane as his fastball. Tough to pick up. Colon has to get up on top just a little bit more.
Off-speed pitch. It's been effective for Colon. He has 6 strikeouts now.
Second time he has struck out Travis Snider tonight. The first time, remember that fastball that he sailed in and he froze him. That time he pulls the string with a changeup.
Second baseman Jason Nix, he too was a strikeout victim. Pulls it right to Alex Rodriguez. Takes it on the backhand in time to get Nix 2 quick outs.
Save during the lawn and garden sale only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Two outs. Third baseman John McDonald batting 9th. He popped up to center from the only pitch he's seen. Off to a good start, contributing. McDonald had a sacrifice or bunt base hit on a safety squeeze in last night's game. That came in the 9th inning. Off Mariano Rivera.
I asked him about that today. I said, how about that bunt? He'd go, boy, that thing was tough to get down. It was high and it was moving. But he is so good at doing the little things to help a team win.
Strike 3 call. Bartolo Colon is breezing. He's gone 5 innings and held the Blue Jays to 2 hits. He's struck out 7. New York leads 5-1. Casey Jansen into the game. earned runs allowed. Once again, the walks became problematic.
4 more of them tonight. Swisher walked in the first and scored. The other 3 walks did not come around to score, and that's been a problem, a theme the last 3 starts by the Blue Jays. Their young starters base on balls.
One thing John Farrell has talked about is getting leadership from the mound, and that means from the starters, and you've got to be able to carry it deeper into the ball game. But too many pitches early in the game, and certainly too many walks when you look at the Blue Jays starter over their last 14 2/3. Last 3 games, 13 walks. And you consider Boston, New York for 2. Too many veteran hitters to issue that many free passes. That'll come back and bite you every time. So Casey Jansen is on. Casey's off to a good start and has not allowed a run in 6 games this year. First pitch curveball gets ahead of Posada. Last year, a 3.67 ERA. Situation right here where he's got to throw up some zeros on the board. A couple of innings of zeros, and the Blue Jays can get Bartolo Colon out of this game.
When he first came up with the Blue Jays, he was a starter. So he is capable of doing multiple innings. Not a good start here as he hits the back leg of Jorge Posada to lead off the 6th inning. He's got good control, good command of a couple of pitches. This one just gets away from him. Looked like a cutter or a slider. Looked like Posada picked his foot up to try to avoid it, and it actually hits right on top of his toes.
So the Yankees continue getting on base. They've had a base runner on in each inning. Russell Martin's been on twice. That'll get down in front of Corey Patterson. Martin has his 2nd hit of the night. Posada will stop at second. Seven hits now for New York. Curtis Granderson, the center fielder, looks at an inside fastball. Everybody in the Yankee lineup has driven in a run, scored a run, been on base, except Andrew Jones. Very balanced attack tonight. Good fastball, evens the count at a ball on the strike. Blue Jays came back last night late in the ball game, scored 2 in the 9th, 1 in the 10th to win it. They've got more work to do tonight.
The way Bartolo Colon is going, you're going to have to figure him out. First of all, he's proof that you don't have to have a blazing fastball anymore. You just have to know how to pitch and command.
He's retired 12 straight. The value of pitching ahead. You make hitters chase, and you can go back and forth on your velocity. Jansen ahead, a ball and 2 strikes to Granderson.
You certainly have to be able to throw it where you need to. Too many pitches per at bat. That's one of the things that we talked about with Colon is get outs early. Very quickly challenge the hitters. He's been around long enough to know that if you make your pitch, you're going to get major league hitters out. You start showing them too much, too many pitches, and the good ones are going to hurt you.
Granderson flies to Snider in left. It's the first out of the inning. Well, Colon has pitched 5 innings here tonight, thrown 63 pitches.
Less than 15.
And that's the formula. Hitting's hard, very hard. And if you can command both sides of the plate, throw strikes, you put the pressure on the hitter.
You know, all you have to do is come out and watch batting practice. There's a guy out there, he's throwing maybe 75 miles an hour. And you see guys hit the ball up into the cage or hitting it off the end of the bat. That's BP. It is very difficult.
Derek Jeter looks at a fastball strike. Jeter's 0 for 3, but he drove in a run with a ground ball out in the second. Jeter's average down to 226.
Casey Jansen has certainly handled Jeter in his career. The Yankee captain is trying to figure out Jansen.
Well, Jeter's figured out a lot of things. He's all active hitters with 2,940 hits. He got his 2,940th here last night. 5 World Series rings, 11-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves. His 17th season with the Yankees.
You can continue to do numbers galore with Derek Jeter, one of 10 big leaguers that have 1,500 runs, 2,500 hits, 200 homers, and 300 stolen bases.
There's a bouncing ball to Nix. He flips to Escobar for one. Back to first. Jeter's doubled up. Casey Jansen continues to do his job. The infield converts another double play. Nix to Escobar, who jumps over Russell Martin and throws a strike to get the double play. Zone. Our guest from the Kids Up Front Foundation, Toronto. Kids Up Front Foundation is a charitable organization that provides access to arts, culture, sports, and recreation for children who otherwise do not have the opportunity. Welcome to Rogers Center, the TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Perfect. Good night at the ballpark and a nice spot to watch a ball game. Blue Jays need to get something going against Bartolo Colon. There's the first pitch breaking ball in there. Escobar has one of the 2 hits against Colon. Single to center, his first time up.
Blue Jays lead the American League in turning double plays. Escobar has been a big part of that. Shows you the kind of arm he has. He jumps on the bag up in the air and then in one motion is able to throw a strike to first base.
And off the front foot, really. He never really got his body under control, but still had the raw arm strength to make a strong throw. Ground ball. Jeter dives from his knees, won't have a play. Escobar has a couple of hits tonight. That snaps a string of 12 straight retired by Bartolo Colon.
Would have been a heck of a play by Derek Jeter at shortstop if he could have come up with this and gotten onto his feet to make the play. Jeter just can't get there. Just 6 errors last year, the fewest of any major league shortstop. Jeter gets to it, but he just can't get his feet underneath him, and it'll go as an infield single.
Jeter got to it, gloved it, but then couldn't get his balance to make a throw. Corey Patterson. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. Blue Jays down by 4. Jeter hit that turf hard with his glove extended. Bouncing ball. Cano at second. No sign at second base. Jim Joyce saying safe at second. Cano thought he had tagged Escobar. Jim Joyce never gave any sign, and the first time he gave a sign was when Escobar was at the bag and he indicated safe. Now he's going to talk with Darryl Cousins, the first base umpire, and he calls him out. This is going to bring John Farrell out of the dugout. Escobar, for a second time this season, has been called out for interference on the base pass, and there's been no contact for either one.
And if you remember, in Anaheim, he ran straight from second base to third base. I was watching him on that play. It didn't look like he went out of the baseline. It looked like he ran straight from first to second base. He's getting the explanation right now from the crew chief, Darryl Cousins. Let's see here if he tags him or if he gets out of the baseline. Well, he clearly tags him.
Sure looked like he tagged him. Watch right here. I don't know. Didn't look like there was any clear-cut contact.
I wonder if Jim Joyce went over to ask Darryl Cousins, who had a better view. Look at the Cousins in line. If he tagged him in the back, Jim Joyce might have been blocked off. Robinson Cano went right away and said, hey, I tagged him.
He certainly shouldn't have been called for going out of the baseline. He stayed within the boundaries of the baseline. But the Blue Jays, after the leadoff base hit, end up with 2 outs and nobody on. Bautista pops it a mile high behind home plate. Russell Martin in foul ground makes the catch in another quick inning. Blue Jays get a hit, but they have it erased. Bartolo Colon, 6 strong innings. Terrible stretch. Nick Mackburn starts for the Twins against Zach Britton for the Orioles. Orioles snapped their 8-game losing streak last night in dramatic fashion. Nick Swisher starts things off here. against Casey Janssen. Swisher signed and brought to New York. The Yankees do a great job of scouting, and they look underneath the numbers. And Swisher in Chicago hit just .219. But the Yankees saw something in his game that they liked.
He did hit 24 home runs, and the Yankees have their scouts out, and they found out that Nick Swisher hit more line drive outs that year that he spent in Chicago, and that's why the batting average was so low. They said, hey, this might be a guy you might want to buy low and pick him up. And they went out and traded for him, acquired him from Chicago in exchange for Faustino De Los Santos, Giovanni Gonzalez, and Ryan Sweeney. I don't think any of them are with the White Sox now, and look at what Swisher has done with New York.
Swisher has done a great job, and he has revamped his style. And he was a reluctant student of Kevin Long's. He just didn't want to change, but the Yankees saw that year he had in Chicago and said, you know what, let's take a chance on this guy's a switcher. Always gets on base, fit in our lineup, and maybe we get more production.
Great on base percentage. Line drive ratios. They have people charting that for him. They said he hit more line drives than anybody that year that were outs. And that's why his batting average was just .219.
In the 2 spot tonight in the lineup, he scored twice. 2 of the 5 runs. Full count. How many times will you say that with Nick Swisher hitting?
I think we've said it about 4 or 5 times in these 2 games.
A very patient hitter. Has an idea what he can hit. He knows the strike zone. Left field. Snider's got plenty of room. Backs up a couple of steps. Swisher's retired.
On the infield single from Escobar, we saw Derek Jeter dive to his left and land on that shoulder, and ever since then he's been really stretching it out, messing with it. Here's that play once again, up the middle and at full extension.
Anytime that fielder slams to the turf with that arm extended, you always risk the possibility of hyperextending that shoulder, dislocating it if it's severe. You remember Jeter, opening series here a few years ago, slid into third base, and Ken Huckabee, the catcher, landed on top of him and hurt his shoulder. Fair ball down the right field line. That ball just landed on the foul line, and it bounces out of play. That'll be a ground rule double for Teixeira. Teixeira went all the way to third. Darrell Cousins indicating the ball bounced into the seats and then back onto the playing surface. Teixeira has 3 doubles tonight.
They put the shift on Teixeira. 3 infielders on the right side, and all of them deep. And he still hooks it down that right field line. Jansen throws the ball. It looked like a breaking ball in the inner half. You can see all the fielders on that side, but he still is able to get it by him for extra bases.
Right on the foul line. Alex Rodriguez has yet to come to the plate officially. He's walked twice and hit a sac fly. Picked up the RBI, his 10th of the season. Rodriguez sat out last night's game with a mild oblique strain and some back problems, but by his own admission said if it were September, I would have played last night. And obviously he's healthy enough to be in there tonight.
Got to know where you are on the schedule. Lots of baseball to go.
That gets away from Aaron Sebia and will allow Teixeira to move to third.
Ball down in the dirt. Tries to turn his glove over to block it. Russell Martin last night put on a clinic on how to block a baseball in the dirt. Goes down to his knees and just keeps it in front of him.
Now the infield is drawn in. Casey Janssen falls behind. 3-0. Rodriguez had a sac fly his last time up. Put the ball to deep center field. Yankees lead 5-1. He's trying to drive the ball to the outfield. There's a knack for driving in runs, and this guy's one of the best. Not trying to do too much, not thinking about anything other than hitting the ball to the big part of the diamond to chase home Teixeira.
Shorten it up just a little bit. Every one of these Yankee hitters have an idea.
Good pitch on the knees. Robinson Cano has extended his hit streak tonight to 11 games. He has also driven in 2 runs.
13 straight seasons for Rodriguez driving in 100 runs. You talk about a knack for knocking in runs. He certainly has it. 14 out of his 15 years in the big leagues, he's driven in 100 runs.
Well, a couple years ago when he got such a late start, 2009, didn't play his first game until the first week of May. Drove in 30 and 100 on the button.
Just write it down when the season starts. 30 and 100.
Got it. Good pitch. Jansen came back with a breaking ball, and Rodriguez, you could see he was trying to wait as long as possible, but swings and misses at the Jansen hook.
Possibly guessing inside on this pitch from Jansen. He crosses him up, throws him a breaking ball, and a flat-footed swing from Rodriguez.
That's a great description, exactly what it was, and Jansen gets his man. He strikes out Rodriguez. Runner at third base, 2 outs. Luis Perez will come in and try to deal with Robinson Cano when we come back. Get it to 1:07 p.m. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. You can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations for tickets. The Rays are getting some terrific pitching. Wade Davis again tonight pitching deep into the ball game. The Rays have had now 8 consecutive games where their starter has pitched into the 7th.
How about James Shields last night? Complete game 4 hitter. Yowza. Luis Perez comes on for his 3rd game. Pitched a couple of games in Boston.
First pitch strike. John Fale is anxious to get an extended look at Luis Perez. Likes the life on his fastball.
He's got a nice, free, easy motion. Throws a fastball, breaking ball. At times he'll throw a changeup. One of those late bloomers. 26 years old.
Worked the majority of his career as a starter. Breaking ball hit on the ground. Nix at second. And he'll retire Cano. Perez does his job. He saves a run for Casey Jansen. Gets the ever-dangerous Robinson Cano. Blue Jays trail by 4. Lind, Encarnacion, and Aaron Sevilla. Hit in the bottom of the 7th, and they have been handcuffed by Bartolo Colon. 6 innings, 1 run on just 3 hits. He's struck out 7. Look at the pitch count. Thrown just 70 pitches.
He says he can go 90 or 95. Joe Girardi says 80. The way he is going right now, he might get 80 and finish it off. He has been smooth. He has been concise. Very crisp with what he wants to do. And you can tell he's got a game plan with every one of these hitters that walk to the plate.
Bounce down the third baseline and foul. Colon has made 3 previous appearances all out of the bullpen. His first appearance, he threw 69 pitches against Detroit. Then on April 8th against the Red Sox, 62. In his most recent relief appearance came against Baltimore. He threw 54, so he is stretched out. 2-1 inside. Colon has always pitched well in this ballpark, and his memories of the Blue Jays have been positive ones. This ball was fouled out of play. His career high in strikeouts is 14. Came right here in this ballpark against Toronto. He also has a 10 strikeout game against the Blue Jays. His career high came when he was in his heyday with the Indians, 1998. Lifted to left field. Jones in front of the warning track. 1 out.
7 strikeouts tonight for Bartolo Colon, and he's gotten them in different ways. There's a 2-seam fastball that freezes Snider. He's got them with a curveball. He has used his changeup. He has used just about every pitch in the book tonight. And notice the location of these pitches. Down and away, up and in, curveballs, changeups. It's masterful. It's pitching.
Tony Pena was his manager in winter ball. Edwin Encarnacion may have had a chance to play against him, as he too played winter ball in the Dominican Republic. But Pena, of course, the great catcher himself and former manager of the Royals, said Colon can really pitch now. He said, you'll be impressed with the way he moves the ball around, and I have been. Changing speeds, no longer trying to bull his way through the lineup.
Came to spring training, won a job, and what a spring he had.
Encarnacion to the gap in right center. That'll get down and over the glove Swisher, he grabs it and fires it back into the infield, and Encarnacion has a double. He is hot.
You throw a fastball at Encarnacion, I don't care if it's inside or outside, and he's hitting it right now. Last night, same type of pitch, fastball away. He pulled it last night for extra bases. Tonight, he stays right on it. It almost gets over Swisher's head. He does a good job of taking that ball on one bounce, and Encarnacion has another extra base hit.
5 doubles now for Encarnacion. J.P. Arancibia homered on a breaking pitch against Colon to lead off the second.
So now they're going to stay away from him. Nothing on the inner half. They're going to make Arancibia work.
And he paints that outside corner. That comeback two-seam fastball.
A little bit harder.
94. You talked about his ability to maintain velocity. We've seen that tonight.
Maintain it and change speeds with his fastball. Strike one was the two-seamer that moved. That time he humped up to 94. Spring training this year, he had 16 innings, he had 1 walk, 17 strikeouts.
Coming into this game tonight, he had walked just 3 and struck out 13. He's only issued a free pass tonight, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. Two-two pitch. Another breaking ball. This is lifted into foul ground. Teixeira gives chase. Double barrel action for the Yankees. The right-hander David Robinson got 2 big strikeouts in last night's game. Boone Logan did not pitch. He's the only left-hander in the Yankees bullpen. Bartolo Colon has given Joe Girardi more than he could have hoped for. Managers will tell you they'll take the starter into the 7th every night.
5 relievers last night used by the Yankees. They only have 7 on their roster. Albert Chamberlain, Rafael Soriano got the feet up the way Colon has been pitching. So they needed their starter to go deep tonight.
Arancibia takes a walk. Only the 2nd walk issued by Colon. Larry Rothschild checking on the status of the 2 relief pitchers. And Joe Girardi wants Russell Martin maybe to go to the mound. Tony Pena. Looks like Pena convinced Joe Girardi to go to the mound and have a chat. Not so sure he's ready to make a pitching change here. Travis Snider has struck out both times against Colon.
But he knows that he's got home run power. 3-run homer, and they're right back in this game. So this is a huge at-bat.
You could see Girardi ask A-Rod to ask Colon how he felt in Spanish, and Colon said, "I'm good." Just to make sure there's nothing lost in translation. But Girardi leaned over and asked Alex Rodriguez, "Tell me how he feels." Rodriguez asked Colon, and obviously got the right answer. 2 on 1 out. Travis Snider, the hero in last night's game, has struck out twice tonight against Colon. Up and away. One out. Blue Jays trail by 4.
good eye. Staying away from him.
Cologne said he had 90 pitches in him. Base hit into right field. They're going to stop the runner at third as Swisher comes up throwing, and now they've got two guys at third. J.P. Arencibia ran with his head down, assumed Encarnacion was going to go home, and he runs into an out. Swisher throws very well, and Brian Butterfield stopped Encarnacion, and Swisher will get an assist.
Well, the ball was hit very hard by Travis Snider. You can see the ball down away 2-0, and he turns on it. The whole key to this play is it's right at Swisher. He charges the ball quickly. You're down by 4 runs. As a base runner, unless you know that that's an extra base hit, you got to be thinking one base at a time. Arencibia had his head down, didn't pick up his coach at all, and it's going to cost the Blue Jays an out.
Big base running mistake cost the Blue Jays a base runner. They're trying to mount a comeback. Snider delivers a hit. When we come back, it'll be David Robertson in for the Yankees. Adam Lind has just come over and slapped J.P. Arencibia on the back and trying to give him an attaboy. But right here, Encarnacion comes around third, sees the stop sign. Look at Arencibia. He looked over his shoulder and saw Swisher. Must have assumed that Swisher was throwing it to the plate. The ball was cut off, and Teixeira runs over and tags Arencibia out. Big base running mistake. The bases would have been loaded with 1 out. Snider delivers a sharp single to right. David Robertson came in a similar situation last night in the 6th and struck out Escobar and Snider to strand the bases loaded.
He had a great fastball last night with some cutting action on it. Got a very good curveball also, as Jason Nix can see that.
Well, you know that the entire team recognized the great fastball, and Russell Martin crosses him up with a first pitch curveball for a strike. Another breaking ball. Robertson's a very important part of this bullpen. There's a guy that can give you some length. He can get out of this inning and give you another inning. He's ahead of Nix, 0-2. There goes Snider. Ball is pulled foul. J.P. Arencibia knows he messed up on the bases. He said, you know, I thought he was going to score. And then he looks up, and Encarnacion is standing at third. And stuff happens. And Adam Lind recognized that and wanted to make sure that He didn't let it get down, but that's a big mistake. Run with your head up.
One base at a time is a good way to think about it when you're down by so many runs, unless it's an absolute extra base hit where you know that you'll be able to make it to third base. Other than that, just think about one base at a time until that tying run gets to the plate.
Well, you can run, but as long as you keep your eye on the guy ahead of you, you'll always be right. Run hard, round the base hard, but they're never going to pay too much attention to you. They're always going to watch that lead runner.
Right.
You play off of him. First and third fake. Snider had made a break for second on the previous 0-2 pitch. Nix fouled it off. Blue Jays down by 4 here as they bat into 7th. Shown is swinging a good bat, lined out to left his first time up, and then hit a double in to right field his last time up. He has 2 of the 5 Blue Jay hits. There goes Snider, fouled out of play. The Blue Jays have had a lot of shuffling of their roster because of a very assortment of issues. Disabled issues with Rajay Davis, Brandon Morrow, Frank Francisco. A couple players have been out for periods of time but not disabled. Breaking ball again. Encarnacion has to jump out of the way. Take your lead in foul territory.
For this reason, any ball that's hooked down that line, if you are in fair territory and hits you, you're out.
He couldn't pitch very well, so I count him as an offense.
Blue Jays were down 5-3 in the bottom of the ninth in last night's game. Came back to win it. Ball missed down and in. A ball and 2 strikes. Robertson, you can see the velocity at 94. He'll keep you honest with that fastball.
I don't remember him throwing this hard last year. Pitched a lot of innings for the Yankees last year. In a setup role. Got into 64 games last year for the Yankees. He threw 61 to third innings. That's 71 strikeouts.
Snider breaks for second. Base hit into center field. Encarnacion will score easily. It's a 5-2 game. Jason Nix delivers a 2-out base hit.
And they make you work for every out. Put pressure on the team through the whole game. Good at bat for Nix. He's behind 0-2 and then battles back, and solid single in the center field. Just keeping the inning going for the Blue Jays.
Number 9 hitter John McDonald starting at third base tonight. That's on the first fastball. McDonald has changed his philosophy here the last couple of years, always being a part-time player, role player. He would never really think about being aggressive at the plate, but boy, last couple of years he's thought under the guidance of Dwayne Murphy. Get a good fastball, let her rip.
His slugging percentage has gone up the last 3 years under the tutelage of Dwayne Murphy. Be a threat at the plate. You know he's going to get a fastball. He knows that. So be a threat. And he certainly has done that. Being aggressive early in the count.
McDonald hit a career high 6 home runs last year in just 152 at bats. He's in the hole 0-2. Bounced foul. The old Yogi Berra hitting philosophy plays out right here. Look for the fastball till you get 2 strikes, then protect the plate. Alex Rodriguez playing his first game since Saturday. John McDonald trying to keep this inning alive. Hanging tough.
Recognizing that curveball early from Robertson. He's got a good one. Just keeping that bat alive until he makes a mistake.
Down, misses the curveball. Robertson gets out of the inning, but the Blue Jays score a run. They come up with the run to make it a 5-2 game. Colon in line for his first win. Passenger car brand in Canada. Detroit Tigers will be at Rogers Center beginning Friday, May 6th. The game starts at 7:07 p.m. That will be followed by a couple of day games. Saturday, note the start time, 4:07 p.m. Sunday, a 1:07 game, and a wraparound Monday game, again, a night game. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. The Tigers coming to town. Fourth Blue Jay pitcher of the night will be Octavio Dotel, working the 8th inning. Perez did a good job of getting out of the 7th.
Getting a tough hitter in Robinson Cano to ground out.
Andrew Jones left a little pop-up behind shortstop. Escobar goes out, hauls it in.
Now the Blue Jays are showing the depth that they have in that bullpen. They've got 9 relievers that they're carrying on the roster right now. Dotel into the game for the 6th time this year. It's 4 innings, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. Got a good fastball.
Be interesting to see how the Blue Jays handle the roster on the off day tomorrow. They've got to figure a way to get Brandon Morrow on to the roster. More than likely he'll start over the weekend. Jojo Reyes is scheduled to start on Friday night. Hotel delivers his first pitch strike. And John Farrell knows you can't carry 9 relievers. And he needs some position players. They got to have a few more options on the bench.
What about the availability of Aaron Hill?
That's a big question mark. That has to be resolved, I'm sure.
Aaron came up with a hamstring in yesterday's game, went for an MRI.
It was interesting in last night's game in Las Vegas. Mike McCoy got a base hit in his first at bat and was taken out of the game. I'm not sure if he was injured himself or they felt like they might make a move, but I was looking at the box score and noticed he only had one at bat and had a base hit.
He is racking up the frequent flyer miles. I'm telling you.
A ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Goes too far. Posada strikes out. 2 up, 2 down for Dotel in the 8th.
Shows you that good arm that Dotel has, reaching back 93 miles an hour. Watch this fastball rise. And Posada can't hold up. He strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
Russell Martin's had a good night. His average up to 320. These two were teammates for a while last year. Dotel made a quick stop in Los Angeles for 19 games. Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, and Colorado last season. Two balls and no strikes to the Yankee catcher. Popped up between home and first. Lynn coming down from first. Dotel has a quick 1-2-3 8th inning. The Blue Jays down by 3 will bat in the 8th. Dotel comes out and quiets the Yankee bats. Hello, speed boost. Goodbye, waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
Travis Snider with a single in the right field. Blue Jays are down by 4 runs. Swisher gets the ball in very quickly, but J.P. Arencibia, thinking that Edwin Encarnacion was going to be sent home from second base, goes to third. He is tagged out. They would end up getting a run in that inning after an RBI single by Nix, but it could have been a lot more.
Golden opportunity after Nix delivered. Swisher made a strong throw, hit the cutoff man right on money, and that allowed Teixeira to look at the situation at third. We'll be right back here Friday night, the beginning of a 3-game series against Joe Madden and the Tampa Bay Rays. The game starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Rogers Sportsnet. A 3-game series, and Jeremy Hellickson, the young right-hander, as Jamie Campbell told you, will go up against JoJo Reyes. And right now, nobody is pitching better than the Tampa Bay Rays. Wade Davis again tonight pitching into the 7th inning. That gives the Rays 8 consecutive starts in which their starter has pitched at least 7 innings.
The longest streak in team history.
Top of the order. Junel Escobar has 2 hits in 3 trips tonight. Had a double in the 9th in last night's game. He's only hit in 6 at-bats, but it was a big one. Drives this ball to center, but Granderson is there. One quick out here in the 8th.
That's what the Yankees are hoping for from David Robertson. Last year, 64 relief outings, 48 of them were an inning or less. Hoping for a little bit more here tonight with the 3-run lead. Hasn't given up a run.
Corey Patterson. That's the first pitch strike. That's a true 4-seam fastball that Robertson throws. 4-seam, straight rotation, a little bit extra velocity. Comes right back with it. And he's got that good overhand curveball that comes out of his hand on the same plane as that fastball. There it is.
There it is.
As a hitter, what do you see when you see both the fastball and the curveball coming out of his hand, same release point?
Me, I got to be looking for that little hump in the ball, and that tells me it's a curveball. That means the fastball, you got to figure that it's going to be down. Curveball, there's a little bit of an arc in the ball. When you face a reliever who just throws 1 inning, you don't get a lot of information from it.
And that's why it's imperative your relief pitchers pound the strikes up. We've seen John Roush now all season long, and that's what he does most effectively. Strike after strike after strike.
Escobar has only faced him now 5 times. Adam Lind 3 times. Molina a couple times. Corey Patterson's only faced him 1 other time.
Even though you play the Yankees 18 times a year, you might not see Robertson, but maybe a time or 2.
For an inning, and he might not get to you.
And that's why you like to encourage your relievers to be aggressive. Don't give hitters much information. They don't know how you're throwing on a given night. They want to see a few pitches. Breaking ball, he's hanging tough.
He's seeing a few now. That curveball, they wanted that one away. I think that's why Martin has gone out to talk to his young reliever.
When you have a batter that's fouling off good pitches, pitcher sometimes gets doubts in his mind, and that's why Martin went out there and said, listen, if you make this pitch, I think we'll get him out. Because the pitcher's a little bit befuddled. He's hitting everything I'm throwing. Elevates. Went out and said, let's just try to get him to chase a high fastball. We got him 2 strikes.
Well, when you throw out of the same plane, that arm plane of your fastball and curveball, and he's got one that goes down, his curveball. 0-2 pitch, a good one is up. A high, hard fastball. If he holds up and doesn't swing at it, then you can throw your breaking ball. That time he went out of the strike zone up and in.
Jose Bautista has been held hitless tonight. 0 for 3. Ball on the strike. Yankees lead 5-2 here in the 8th. They lost last night in 10. 6-5. Yankees will travel to Baltimore after this game and have an off day before they start a weekend series. Blue Jays will see the Yankees on their next road trip. Blue Jays will travel to Arlington, Texas on Sunday, play a 4-game series with the Rangers before heading to New York. The middle stop in a 3-city tour that will also include Tampa Bay. 1-2 to Bautista. That's a good old-fashioned curveball there.
That one a little bit harder than the one he was throwing with 2 strikes to Corey Patterson. That time he wanted the strikeout.
Got a lot of the play then. Bautista is able to put wood on it.
Mariano Rivera was talking about the pitch that he threw to Bautista for ball 4 after the game yesterday. He said he held on to it just a little bit too long, and it cost him a run.
Escobar was at third and scored on the wild pitch. That was the first run in the ninth. Bautista would later come in to score the tying run. 2-2 pitch. Good count. Mariano Rivera gave up 2 runs to the Blue Jays in last night's game to tie it. He had not allowed 2 runs to the Jays in his previous 42 games. Going all the way back to July of 2004. That's just not right.
Yeah.
3-2. Bautista rips it into center field. He has a base hit.
Save during the lawn and garden sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
David Robertson gives up a sharp single to center, and he is ready to hand the ball off to Joe Girardi. Adam Lind is the scheduled batter. Boone Logan, the left-hander, will come out of the Yankee pen. Blue Jays down by 3. Is ready to get off their bandwagon, but they pitched their way right back into things. Now, Boone Logan will come out of the Yankee bullpen.
The only left-hander on Joe Girardi's bullpen staff, 5 games this year. He's the lefty specialist. Going to need to improve that walk to strikeout ratio. 4 walks in the innings that he put in, 3 innings and just 1 strikeout. The Yankees bullpen ERA is at 3.63, which is 6th in the American League. They've got a lot of 1-inning pitchers down there, and Logan is a specialist. His longest outing this year is just 1 inning himself. And his job right now is to get Adam Lind.
Adam Lind has hit better for an average against left-handed pitching this year than he has right-handed pitching. 353 so far. He's only hit just over 200 against the righties. Pops this one out of play. He is 0 for 5 against Boone Logan. The Jays trying to claw their way back into this game. Yankees scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Blue Jays countered with a single run in the second, and then the Yankees added 2 more in the sixth. Off the plate. This is probably a one-batter situation for Boone Logan. 1-1 to Lynn. Breaking ball way inside.
Jose Bautista is always trying to get an advantage. Looking in, trying to steal a sign from the catcher. Russell Martin. He is in the game. Every aspect.
2-1. 2 outs. Popped into left field. Jones has it. Lynn's retired. Blue Jays get a runner on base, but can't do anything with it. We'll go to the ninth. Boone Logan gets out of it. Yankees lead by 3. Frank Francisco will make his Blue Jays debut when we come back to Rogers Center. Here against the Yankees in the ninth. He's 31 years old, from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Blue Jays got him in a deal with the Texas Rangers in exchange for Mike Napoli on the 25th of January.
And that was only able to make 2 appearances in the spring because of a pectoral strain in his right shoulder. Placed on a disabled list on March the 31st, retroactive to March the 22nd. Made some rehab appearances, 5 of them down in the minor leagues, and each one of them he got better and better. His velocity kept getting stronger and stronger. He throws very hard. Good fastball, good overhand curveball. He was activated off the disabled list just yesterday, and this will be his Blue Jays debut.
What the Blue Jays like about Francisco is the fact he throws strikes. Last year, pitching in Texas in 56 games, he had 18 walks and 60 strikeouts. That's what you want to see from your relievers. Put pressure on the hitters.
Lefties don't bother him either. He had good numbers against left-handers. And the first batter he faced will be a left-hander.
9-1-2 for the Yankees here in the ninth. Granderson had an RBI triple. He also scored in the second. Rips the first pitch high and deep and into the seats. First pitch home run for Curtis Granderson. Number 6 for the Yankees center fielder. He has tied Mark Teixeira for the American League lead in home runs.
It's a compact swing with a lot of power. You can see it's short, and he stays right on it. Now 10 for his last 21. Granderson giving some production from that number 9 slot tonight.
Foul tip called on Jeter. Granderson, since last August 18th when he made that transition, really trying to get up on the plate and be more aggressive. Boy, he has hit some homers.
I applaud him. I mean, he had a year for Detroit where he hit 30 home runs, and he could have said, well, hey, I'm a 30 home run hitter in the big leagues, but he wants to make himself a better hitter. And he is built for Yankee Stadium.
Ball and strike to Jeter. On the ground, Nix is there. One out. Derek Jeter is 0 for 5. Yankees have scored 6 runs on 9 hits. That home run by Granderson is the 30th Yankee home run of the year.
$14 of their 16 games now, the Yankees have hit a home run.
Four runs or more 14 times. That will help out a pitching staff.
That always seems to be the magic number. 4 or 5 runs a game. That's what you're shooting for. You hold them underneath that, and chances are you're going to win.
Well, and right now, because the Yankees are scoring about 5.5 runs a game, they are able to overcome their pitcher's ERA. Fastball misses down and away. Swisher, he is something else. Boy, he is patient. He makes a pitcher work, and then you're always concerned because he's got pop. Mark Teixeira on deck has hit 3 doubles tonight. Swisher will take his 2nd walk of the night. Walked 4 times in 2 games. I've been in that situation before. Looking at matchups thinking, how in the world are we going to get this thing turned around? 1 out. We are in the 9th. Blue Jays trail by 4. Curtis Granderson with the leadoff home run on the first pitch from Frank Francisco.
Those 3 doubles that Teixeira has hit tonight has tied his career high. He did it back in 2007 against the Yankees. He had 3 doubles at Yankee Stadium.
Changeup ran off the plate away. Mentioned Teixeira tied with Granderson now with 6 home runs. Teixeira also is tied for the league in RBI with Adrian Beltre of the Rangers. Strike 2-1. Yankees lead 6-2, top of the 9th. Frank Francisco in his first inning of work this season. He's been in the minors, made his rehab appearances. Teixeira, high and deep down the right field line, but it's a foul ball. Sports fans, you can get all the information you want about all the sports with Bob McCowan on weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Sportsnet 1, Prime Time Sports. You can also listen at thefan590.com. Full count. There goes Swisher. Strike 3 called. No throw to second. Swisher got a great jump. Teixeira got looking. Mark Teixeira takes one right down Broadway.
He's had a full house tonight. 3 doubles and 2 strikeouts. 3 and 2. This one right there. And he ended upset with himself as Swisher steals second.
First stolen base of the year for Nick Swisher. He's in scoring position for Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 1. Walked twice at a sacrifice fly. Driven in his 10th run of the season. Outside. Care how many rehab appearances you have in the minor leagues, you get into the big leagues and the adrenaline is a little different. Made 5 appearances in the minor leagues, a total of 5 innings, gave up 6 hits. There's a strike.
You're also facing the Yankees. You're also facing Jeter and Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez.
Good fastball, got it by Rodriguez. A ball and 2 strikes. Pretty good fastball that Rodriguez fouls back. Francisco has thrown 18 pitches. The Blue Jays have Thursday off. They'll welcome in the Tampa Bay Rays for a 3-game series beginning Friday night here at Rogers Center. Off-speed pitch pulled foul. Rodriguez struck out. Casey Jansen got him on a good breaking ball with a runner at third and 1 out. That came in the 7th. Strike 3 call, and he knew it. Francisco throws a good fastball. He strikes out the final 2 batters he faces. The Blue Jays, bottom of the 9th, need a rally. Sportsnet. Friday night, the pregame show begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. The Jays on Sportsnet, first of a three-game series against the Tampa Rays. Jeremy Hellickson, the young right-hander, will go up against the left-hander Jojo Reyes. As the Blue Jays will wrap up a short 5-game homestand. Right-hander Lance Pendleton comes in. He made his major league debut in the Friday loss versus Texas. Had 3 perfect innings of work. Bruce Walton talking to Francisco, and by his actions you could say Francisco was telling him, hey, I was just a little bit all over the place trying to get my release point, get that first appearance under my belt. Curtis Granderson jumped on the first pitch and hit a home run. Encarnacion will lead things off. He doubled and scored in the 7th. 6-2 Yankees. Pendleton, in his major league debut, became the first Yankee to retire his first 9 hitters faced in his first big league game since Chien-Ming Wang did back in '05.
Chien-Ming Wang retired 10 in a row in his big league debut
against the Blue Jays. Falls behind Encarnacion. A leadoff walk. That'll get the Blue Jays interested.
With a 4-run lead, Joe Girardi is going to go to Pendleton and try to finish this one off. Mariano Rivera has worked the last 3 games for the Yankees. It's not a safe situation. They do have a backup closer in Soriano, and he is now up in the pen just in case.
J.P. Arancibia. It's the first pitch strike. Arancibia homered and walked. He also struck out. Made a base running mistake in the 7th when he ran into an out. Ran over to third when Encarnacion was standing on the bag. Soriano and Noesi loosening up. More than likely, Noesi just getting some throwing in with the off day tomorrow. Soriano is live. One ball, 2 strikes, no outs. Blue Jays trying to mount a rally here in the 9th. Line to Jeter at short.
Base runners, that's what the Blue Jays are looking for right now. Encarnacion with a good at bat, gets the walk. And now it's up to Snider to keep it going.
Travis had a line single into right his last time up. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Bartolo Colon started in 6 1/3. Held Blue Jays to 5 hits. He would strike out 7. He's the pitcher of record, looking for his first win. And even his record at a win and a loss. Good eye. You're right. The Blue Jays just need base runners.
Yeah, that's all you're thinking about right now. Get them on and get that tying run to the plate.
Late call by Jim Wolf. It's a full count. Looked a bit low.
Travis Snider certainly thought that ball was low. He was ready to throw his bat away and hit down to first base. It looks low there. Got to hold on to it and gets another swing.
Full count, 1 out. Snider 1 for 3 tonight. Jason Nix has a hit. Love to get a chance to do something. Fights it off.
Stay alive. Pendleton doesn't throw that hard. Looks like he maxes out around 90 miles an hour.
Another full count pitch, and Encarnacion's at first. Popped out of play again. 89, 90 miles an hour. That's what we've seen from Pendleton.
Well, he knows he's going to get a fastball. He's got to challenge him. Just get that timing down right here.
Driven to right. This ball has got a chance. This ball's off the wall. Encarnacion headed to third. Here's the throw to second. Snider has a double. And the Blue Jays have life.
Travis Snider knows there's no place to put him. You're up by 4 runs, 3-2. You've got to throw him a fastball. You've got to challenge him. You don't want to walk him. And he hits a bullet to right field. A little bit out in front on that pitch. But strong enough to hit it off the wall for extra bases, and he hustles. The switcher gets it in very quickly. The Blue Jays are in business. They have the tying run on deck now.
Second and third, 1 out. Joe Girardi has made a pitching change. Pendleton out, Soriano in. Blue Jays trying to claw their way back into this game, and they have made Joe Girardi go to the bullpen. It's the 8th inning pitcher, Rafael Soriano. He pitched in last night's game, faced 4 batters in the 8th. Walked a batter, struck out a batter, but that was it. Then he turned things over to Mariano Rivera for the night.
A scoreless inning, his 3rd in as many games for Soriano. 7 games now this year for Soriano. It's nice to have a guy when your regular closer needs a day off. It's nice to have a guy who saved 45 for Tampa Bay last year in these situations.
First pitch, breaking ball for a strike. The tying run is on deck, so it would be a save situation for Soriano. Blue Jays down by 4. John McDonald on deck. Fastball up out of the zone. Ball on the strike. Granderson's home run in the top half of the inning looms large. That gave them an extra run, made it 6-2. It's 2-1. Blue Jays came back in tonight last night, scored 2 off Mariano Rivera. Won it in the 10th. Three and one, went with the slider.
He's got a good fastball. Throws at 93 or 94 miles an hour. Again, he has worked the last 3 games for the Yankees. Last year, batters hit just 163. There's Rivera on the left. Doesn't look like he's available tonight.
He walked it. The bases are loaded. The Blue Jays will get the tying run to the plate. John McDonald had a bunt base hit in the 9th in last night's game that tied the score at 5-all. Just keep the line moving.
Take what they give you. Whatever that is.
Get ahead fastball. Popped out. Russell Martin, the catcher. Infield fly. Martin catches it. There are 2 outs. McDonald popped it right up over home plate. And now the Blue Jays will look for the leadoff hitter, Junel Escobar, to keep things going.
Escobar has been so good in this situation this year, hitting .385 with runners in scoring position. Keeping it simple. Couple of hits tonight for Escobar. The outfield plays him to right center.
Breaking ball for a strike.
Curtis Granderson, the center fielder, is covering up that right field alley. It's where Escobar gets a lot of hits.
0-1, 2 outs, bases loaded. Cut on and missed. Escobar's first at bat against Soriano. He has a grand slam. Fished it into the outfield. Granderson calls for it. This game is in the books. The Blue Jays lose it. They get the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. But Bartolo Colon was too tough early. Curtis Granderson with his 6th home run. A little insurance in the 9th. Soriano picks up the save. The Blue Jays lose 6-2, split the 2-game series.
How about Colon pitching into the 7th inning, 7 strikeouts? Just what the Yankees needed with their bullpen. They used 5 relievers in last night's game. They needed their starter to go distance tonight. They pieced it together. Curtis Granderson had a big night also.
The Yankees with their big bats come back for 6 on 9 hits. Stay tuned to Sportsnet. Bob McCown, Prime Time Sports, coming up next.